Right, we're back. Good evening. The business of winning and losing, sport's eternal dilemma and fascination. 25 years ago, England's wingless wonders, considered by some to be boring, lacking in style, won the World Cup. Today, they are soccer's immortals. On Saturday, England's rugby team, considered by some to be boring and lacking in style, could win the Rugby World Cup. Roger Utley defends the England approach: if you can't win with style, then at least win. While sometimes there's no thanks for winning, there's never any thanks for losing. Are Liverpool losing it? Graham Souness explains. Super middleweight Henry Wharton takes another step to the top as we bring you tonight's big fight action. Opponent Gent, of course, has other ideas. And the super middleweight who's already made it, Chris Eubank, talks for the first time since the Michael Watson fight. Action for you. Super middleweights used to be a term that was applied to middleweight boxers who were outstanding. Nowadays it's a separate weight category, a 12-stone limit, 8 pounds heavier than middleweight. Chris Eubank, the unfortunate Michael Watson, Nigel Benn and European champion James Cook all fight at that weight. And so does Henry Wharton, who good judges think could also go to the very top. He's unbeaten in 11 fights so far. Tonight, the Yorkshireman's latest test, the defence of his Commonwealth title against Gent of London, who's twice fought for the British title, 2 weights up, cruiserweight. His record is 19 wins in 26 fights. Wharton against Gent, the venue, the spectacular Leeds Town Hall, and at ringside, Harry Carpenter.
A cathedral-like setting here in this ornate Leeds Town Hall for Henry Wharton's first defence of the Commonwealth Super Middleweight Championship. And Wharton accepted now as a Leeds boy, but in fact comes from York and was announced as such. Wharton on the left, Gent, his challenger from southeast London, from Streatham, the older man and the more experienced pro of the two. Henry Wharton, the defending champion, hard-hitting Yorkshireman wearing the black trunks. And the balding Gent from Streatham, 26 years old, just 2 years older than Wharton, who will be 24 next month. And Wharton still displaying on the left leg of his trunks one of his amateur badges of days gone by. And both these men can hit, so this could be quite an interesting confrontation here, although Wharton starts a clear favourite. Wharton in the black trunks, there he is with his name across the waistband. He's had only 11 professional fights, but he's won the lot, and he's won 8 of them inside the distance. Wharton won this title in this same arena in June. It took him the full 12 rounds to win on points against a very determined Australian called Rod Carr, and in the end he only won it by a single point. Rod Carr was down twice in that fight, but he never gave up. And Gent fighting tonight at well under 12 stone, which is quite amazing, really, because at one time he was a full-fledged cruiserweight, and the limit there is almost 14 stone. So somehow or other, Gent, over the last year or two, has managed to shed something like 2 stone. Gent has already had 2 attempts at major titles and failed on both occasions. But he's made a lively start here against Wharton. And he's taken the bull by the horns and gone straight into the attack, and may well have won this opening round. And Gent quite clearly determined to impose himself on the younger man and the much less experienced man. That's a very good start by the challenger. And Wharton's corner, well, they won't show any signs of panic at this stage, but they might just be a little bit disturbed, because Wharton, I think, has been taken out of his stride by the determination of Gent's opening attack. And here is Gent, 26-year-old Streatham man with 26 fights behind him, compared with Wharton's 11. But Gent has been beaten 6 times, and in those 6 defeats he's been stopped 5 times. So although he can bang a bit, he's shown himself to be a little vulnerable against heavy punching. The champion in the black trunks, making his first defence of this Commonwealth title. Quite clear that Gent must have been boxing well out of his proper weight division for several years. Even in March this year, he won a British light heavyweight eliminator, and that's the 12 stone 7 division. So now he's down to a class half a stone below that. Wharton goes to work in the fifth for the first time, and he's got it. He finished off with a left into the ribs. Gent is listening closely to the count, and he's up and alert. Round 5. Took a long time for Wharton to get into this fight, but when he did, he got into it dramatically. But full marks to Gent. He's got up off the floor, and he's come fighting back. Place now exploding in enthusiasm for their man Wharton. And the seconds now ticking out towards the end of this dramatic 5th round. And Gent will be back to the corner in a moment for the rest he needs. said earlier on that Wharton could turn a fight round with one punch, and he more or less did that in that 5th round. He set up a good two-fisted attack, in fact, and we can show it to you again. Backing Gent up towards the ropes, good right into the ribs, and it was a left hook to the head, and then I think the real stunner, the thing that knocked all the breath out of him, was the left hook to the body. But that was a good 3-punch attack. Right to the ribs, left to the head, left to the body. And Gent did well not only to get up, but to come fighting back towards the end of the round. So what surprises now, does the 6 hold for us? Gent, the challenger, on the floor in the 5th, still looking quite sprightly. So there you had a spectacular example of the sort of exciting punching that has made Wharton such a favourite here in Yorkshire. Francis, desperate to separate him, in grave danger there of taking one himself. And Wharton looks a different fighter now. Confidence has come back from being hesitant and slightly unsure of himself. He now looks like a man who wants to get it over. A changed man. Turning into some battle. And Gent still trying to get his own heavy punches across. He's still punching fast and quite accurately. It's not over yet. Two good punches there from Gent now. And the sweat pouring down the face of the referee as well as down the 2 boxes. Got him again. Same body punch as before, a left to the ribs, and Gent blows his cheeks out, but he absorbs the pain of the blow to the ribs. Second knockdown, round 6, not long to go in this one. There's the bell, but you can't hear it because the crowd are kicking up such a noise. And the Gent corner, Trevor Cattouse complaining to Roy Francis that his man was hit after the bell. But in all fairness, I don't think anybody could hear the bell. This place is alive with excitement now. This was the second knockdown that Gent has suffered in this fight. And it was again this scything punch to the body that did the damage, right into the ribs. And he was gasping for air as he knelt on the canvas. These body punches of Wharton really are tremendous punches. You don't see quite such good body punching usually in this country. But Gent, to his eternal credit, is still there. And he's going to come out for the 7th. But his time may be running out. Still blowing, Lou Gent, as he walks from his corner into the 7th round. still feeling the effect not only of the one in the 6th, but the similar punch in the 5th. Well, this is a sport where you're constantly admiring people's courage. And here's another example, because Gent has been hurt in this fight badly, twice. And he's still on his feet, and he's still determined to win this championship if he can. Wharton is having to absorb a few punches to get his own in. Here they come again. Those rib-bending punches. And a right hand knocks Gent's head back as well. And the man from Streatham is suffering now. And amazingly, Wharton is still being backed up and put under considerable pressure. And he's got him again, and it's the same punch again. The left hand scythed into the ribs once more for the 3rd time. Gent gets to his feet, every time a little more wearily. And understandably, it's the 7th round. 3 times now he's come up off the floor. 5, 6 and 7. And the same punch every time. The rib bender. And still, Gent comes forward and punches. And so once again, the challenger survives. But the walk back to the corner at the end of every round looks a little more weary. But what courage this 26-year-old challenger has shown. His 3rd attempt to win a major title. And you'll see again this punch come crashing in. Left to the head, but that wasn't the one that put him down. That was the one, and it was on the borderline by the look of it. We've got a different angle on that. That was the one to the head, which hurt him, certainly. But that was the one. Now, that looked to me, in fact, not so much border as definitely low.
Wharton, in fact, was warned for low punches in round 9, but he couldn't put his opponent away. And here now is round 11.
2 rounds to go. Anything could happen. Well, Gent, the man in red, has fought the fight of his life here tonight. You wouldn't have given tuppence for his chances in the 7th when he was on the floor for the 3rd time. And this crowd, somewhat subdued now, as they see Wharton struggling. I honestly don't know where Gent gets the strength from. It's quite amazing. He started fast and he's finishing fast, and in between he's been on the floor 3 times from vicious body blows. The seconds in. Wharton's corner, constantly signalling to their man when he gets near them. But come on, come forward. But I'm not sure he's got the strength to do that. That was a vicious left to the body there as Roy Francis tried to separate him. And this is primeval stuff now. Wharton is now fighting like a madman, trying to get rid of this man who's tormented him for the last 3 rounds. Wharton advances towards his man, so he gets met again with good punches. The bell again, and we're going in to the final stages now. The 12th round coming up, and these 2 men on the edge of exhaustion. And they smile at each other. To their eternal credit, they actually smiled at each other as they come out for the final 3 minutes. A great battle between 2 very honest and courageous fighters. I would imagine that the Wharton corner will have said to him, you better have a good round to finish this with, otherwise you might find the scoring going against you. Everything depends just how heavily Roy Francis marked those rounds against Gent when he was knocked down. Wharton certainly was well behind after 3 rounds. And he's probably lost the last 3. It could be very, very close. Just look at this. Action at the end of a 12-round battle. Raw excitement in Leeds. Gent battling forward. Wharton trying to stave him off with punches. The 2 men locked in battle as they have been for so many of these rounds. And it looks as though we're going right down to the final bell. And then we'll wait to see what decision Mr. Francis comes up with. "20 seconds. And I don't think either man has got the strength left now to summon a KO punch. They can barely stand, leaning on each other for support as the final bell goes, and it's a draw. Roy Francis, the referee, has given a draw, which means that Wharton keeps his title, of course. Well, how about that for a battle? What chance would you have given Lou Gent of staying 12 rounds after those 3 knockdowns in the middle rounds? And they're cheering him around the ring, and he deserves it. One of the most courageous performances of the year. Leeds have had a tremendous title fight. Their man has retained the title.
118 points each, that's 4 rounds each, and 4 rounds even. Tough fight, but Wharton got 1 or 2 things yet to prove, mostly about his defence, I would have thought. Now, as you know, it's been a difficult time for boxing. Michael Watson's condition remains unchanged. He's continuing to make slow progress. Well, this week at a boxing awards lunch in London, Chris Eubank spoke to us for the first time since that traumatic night when Michael Watson ended up in hospital.
Several current champions turned out for the presentation of the British Boxing Board of Control's latest awards, a function arranged in conjunction with the publication of the latest boxing yearbook. Last November's world title fight between Nigel Benn and Chris Eubank had been recognised as the fight of the year. And Eubank chose yesterday, 5 weeks after his world title defence with Michael Watson, to talk for the first time about how the tragedy had affected him.
It's a very difficult time for me at this time. It's better I don't say anything, because anything I say can be premature in accordance to Michael Watson's situation. All these things which have gone on in the near past has been uncalled for as far as I'm concerned. You know, for me it's very traumatic, in as much as you never really expect to inflict such damage to an opponent. No one expects to do such a thing, and it's really hard to come to terms with, you know. In accordance to public opinion and how I accept the public, or how I see the public, it's quite hard to deal with. So, in accordance to your question, no, I can't say anything in accordance to that right now.
Has it changed you as a man?
Most certainly, yeah. We're human beings, you know, and I'm a human being. And for this to have happened, me being in sport, basically for a living, it's my work, it's the way I earn my living, it's the way I pay for my children to go to school. It makes me think, do I really want to go on earning money in this way? And I think at the end of the day, I know the answer, but it's very hard to come to terms with. You understand?
Obviously you've enjoyed spending some time with your family to think things through.
Of course, that's my balance. You know, that's a man's balance, not just mine, any man's balance. I've been waiting to see his progress for the last 5 weeks, and now he's out of intensive care. I'm going on holiday for a few days and just get away from, you know, all the people who want to talk to me about boxing. Basically, you know, it's not my subject at this time. I mean, I think it's quite clear where my view is on boxing. In accordance to what I've said in the past, I still stand strong. Even now, I'm more adamant in accordance to what's happened in the last fight with me and Michael.
No doubt you support all the moves that are being made to consider the safety issues.
Yes, I do, and there should be more as far as I'm concerned. Yes, I support all the moves which are being made.
I think people would applaud your honesty, that you find it difficult to come to terms with this issue.
Well, basically, that's about the most constructive thing I can say to you, because everything else I'm not sure about. Usually I'm very decisive, usually I'm very positive, but in such a situation I don't know where to put my feet, you know.
Chris Eubank talking there with Ray Stubbs. And other awards this week, Dave McCauley won Fighter of the Year. He, of course, is the IBF flyweight champion, as you know. And Wally Swift, who's shortly to box for a light middleweight championship of the world, won Sportsman of the Year. Congratulations to them.